Hello, my beautiful souls, and welcome back to the Wicked Exposed channel, where I'm your divine intuitive messenger, Empress J, here to deliver to you, once again, another intuitive message from Spirit. To those of you who are new here to the channel, welcome, welcome. Over here, we sugarcoat nothing when it comes to these intuitive messages. Why? Because Spirit wants you to get all the smoke when it comes to these wicked energies. And to my returning soul tribe members, welcome back. Once again, as we kick our way through these wicked tarot scripts. So here on the table, my loves, we already have our two rows of energies. Our first row of energy consists of our current energy, followed by these current energies, or our next row of energies, which clarifies these current energies, the thoughts of the mind, or words that were spoken in a way that's going to pertain to these current energies. Keep in mind, my loves, I've already prayed and meditated to Spirit over these energies. I've also welcomed in my holy and spiritual angels, along with my holy and spiritual ancestors of Exceeded Master Readery. So we're all tuned in and ready to deliver to you what Spirit wants you to know at this moment in time. So when it comes to these current energies, my love, I was picking up on two energies here. One energy, it pertains to your masculine, and the other energy pertains to this feminine energy that your masculine more than likely was dealing with while he was in this relationship with you, right? And so this first energy, current energy card here, it hurts so much, right? I feel that this energy card pertains to this feminine energy that your masculine was more than likely dealing with while in some type of relationship with you, right? This is energetically how she's feeling, right? When it comes to your masculine, it hurts so much, right? Because this could have been something. These feelings that she have with this, it hurts so much, right? Could be coming from something she's heard when it comes to your masculine, right? When it comes to your masculine, who's energetically expressing his feelings for this woman, right? Which is why I can't do this right now, and this, I need to figure myself out, energy cards out here on the table, right? This is what your masculine is energetically, expressing when it comes to this woman, right? When it comes to this woman, who he feels that this love is crazy, right? Who he feels that this love is crazy, right? The love that he has for this woman, he feels that this love is crazy, right? And so those are those feelings are what he, have been energetically expressing to this woman, right? I can't do this right now, and I need to figure myself out, right? Because he feels that this love is crazy, when it comes to his feelings for this woman, right? Bottom of the deck here, we got I don't know where to start, right? Which I feel this is what he's energetically, right, is trying to express to you, right? Bottom of the deck. I don't know where to start, right? I don't know where to start, right? It's what he's energetically, right, trying to express to you, right? Trying to express to you, right? Trying to express to you how he got so hooked on to this third party, right? How he got so hooked on to this third party, right? So as we head down here to our next row of energies here, before I shuffle the deck, right? Before I shuffle the deck, an offer was on the bottom of the deck, right? So I feel like an offer could have been made, right? I feel like an offer could have been made from this woman who moves in silence, right? I feel like an offer could have been made from this woman who moves in silence, right? And was given to this energy here, right? And was given to this energy here, who could be a male or female, right? When it comes to this energy card, we have to apply this energy. This could be a male or female, right? And was given to this, and was given to this energy card here, who could be a male or female, who has no facts, right? Who has no facts when it comes to something that this person could call themselves a professional at doing, right? And so this energy has no facts when it comes to what they call themselves a professional at doing, right? And since this person has no facts, right? They make shit up, right? They make shit up, right? And so that's what this energy card here. That's what this energy card here did, right? Was told lies, right? Was told lies to this woman, right? Was told lies to this woman, right? Because like I said, this energy has no facts to what they may be doing or what they may be talking about. So what this energy card did was told lies to this woman that your masculine was more than likely dealing with while in some type of relationship with you, which is why it hurts so much is here, right? Because she's listened to this man or woman tell her lies, right? She listened to this man or woman tell her lies, right? Which is why it hurts so much, right? And so when it comes to your masculine, expressing these feelings to her, expressing these feelings of I can't do this right now to this woman, right? She gonna start doing what? She gonna start talking shit to him. She gonna start talking shit to him. What you mean? What you mean? I need to figure myself out. She gonna start talking shit to him. What you mean? I need to figure myself out, right? Because this woman has a big ass ego about herself, right? She has a big ass ego about herself, right? Excuse my French collective. Sometimes I may, throw in a few curse words. Excuse my French. So, this woman, she has a big ass ego, right? And so, since she walking around with this her ego, right? This ego of hers, right, is getting in the way of some type of relationship, right? Some type of relationship, etc., that you're having with this masculine, right? Which is the reason why this love is crazy that he has for this woman, right? Which is the reason why this love is crazy that he has for this woman, right? Because this masculine done called because she don't call child services. She don't call child services on both of y'all two. She done called child services on the both of y'all two, and he still got some type of love for this woman after she done did all this. That's the reason why this love is crazy when it comes to how he feeling about this woman, because she done called child services on the both of y'all two, right? She done called child services on the both of y'all two, and so y'all kids, right? Y'all kids or this child is at risk of being taken. Y'all kids, or this child is at risk of being taken, or is about to be taken, or something like that, right? Because of this woman, reporting, because of this woman could, either be reporting some type of neglect, right? Or some type of abuse, right? Or some type of abuse that's going on, between y'all two, right? Between y'all two. Who could be, y'all two who could be living in this household together, right? So, and so she done reported y'all to the child services, right? And she done did all this. Right? She done did all this, and your masculine, was still hooked on to this third party after she done did all this to y'all. Calling child services and things on y'all, disturbing y'all peace. You know, disturbing y'all peace in this household. If y'all live together, and he still got, he still got love for this woman in spite of her doing all this, right? He still got love for her in spite of her doing all this, right? And so, that's the reason why, that's the reason why it's masculine is in this I don't know where to start, right? When it comes to, him having to explain, how he got so hooked on this woman, when it comes to you, right? And having to explain to child services, right? What this neglect or, some type of abuse is about that's going on in y'all family dynamic, right? So, spirit led me to pull the top card, the top card off the second row of energies, right? Spirit led me to pull the top card off the deck, right? And caught a case, caught a case was the next energy card that was on the top of the deck, right? And so I feel like, as we get ready to get into the tarot, right? As we get ready to get into the tarot, right? Bottom of the deck here is this older man, right? Bottom of the deck here is this older man, right? This older man, right? So, this older man, which could be your masculine, right? This older man could have caught a case, right? This older man could have caught a case, right? And that's the reason why he's in this I don't know where to start, right? When it comes to you and child services, because he's having to explain to you how he got so hooked on to this third party and having to explain to child services what this neglect or some type of abuse that's going on between y'all two could be about, right? And because he could have caught a case here. He could have caught a case here. He could have caught a case, right? Pertaining to this third party, right? Pertaining to this third party that he was so hooked on, right? Right? She could have given him, she could have given him some type of sexual infection, right? She could have given him some type of sexual infection, right? And he could have given you this sexual disease, right? He could have given you this sexual disease. And y'all ended up having to take some type of pills, right? Both of y'all two had to end up taking some type of pills, right? To get rid of this rash or whatever the type of sexual disease this is, right? And we're going to see as we get into the tarot. If that's what this situation, it could have led, to this abuse, right, that was going on between y'all two was about, right? He could have caught a case, right? He could have caught a case. He could have caught a case a case of a sexual infection, right? Which it could have led, it could have led to, some type of abuse. It could have led to some type of abuse that was going on to y'all with y'all too. It could have. We'll see when we get into the tarot. What this older man, the reason why this older man was so hooked on to this third party, right? We'll see the reason why. We'll see the reason why this older man could have been, so hooked on to this third party. Right? As we get ready to get into the tarot. But see, she could have been just this something to do person, right? She could have been just this something to do person that this older man was dealing with, right? who he felt like could have been who he felt like, was this Christian person, who he felt like was this Christian person, Christian type of person, he could have felt like that. So we're going to get ready to get into the tarot to see the reason why this older man was so hooked on to this third party. I need an energy card, please. Okay. So the reason why, right? It hurts so much when it comes to this other woman, right? The reason why it hurts so much when it comes to this other woman that your masculine was more than likely dealing with while in some type of relationship with you, right? Right? Because this feminine energy was very intuitive, right? This feminine energy that your masculine was dealing with was very intuitive, right? Was very intuitive when it came to knowing what your masculine, when it came to knowing, how your masculine was feeling about her, right? This other woman that your masculine was dealing with while in a relationship with you was very intuitive when it came to knowing how your masculine was feeling about her, right? And so this I can't do this right now, right? So this I can't do this right now. Pertaining to him, right? Pertaining to him, right? Pertaining to him. Pertaining to him, right? Wanting to do this to her. This I can't do this right now. Pertaining to him, right? And what she was wanting him to do, right? Lick that click, right? This I can't do this right now. Pertaining to him and what she wanted him to do, right? Which was lick that click of her. So your masculine was trying to express. So your masculine was trying to, your masculine was trying to explain to her that he need to figure himself out, right? He need to figure himself out, right? When it came to this younger woman, right? When it came to these feelings that he had for this younger woman, right? When it came to this younger woman, right? Who felt like giving him, who felt like giving him some head, right? Who felt like giving him some head, right? Or who felt like if she gave him some head, right? Or who felt like if she gave him some head, right? This would change, This would change how he was feeling, This would change how he was feeling, right? This would change how he was feeling about her, Yeah, this would change how he was feeling about her, right? Cause she still wanted, cause you know, she still wanted, you know, she felt like this would get him to talk, still get him wanting to talk. She felt like if she gave him some head, you know, this would get him in the energy, right? This would get him in the energy of still wanting to talk to her, which is the reason why this love was crazy, right? Which is the reason why this love was crazy when it came to how he was feeling about this younger woman, right? Right? Um, and so this energy here who has no facts, right? This energy here who has no facts, right? She, this energy here who has no facts, right? This was the person, right? This was the person, right? That told lies, right? This was the person, right? That called themselves a professional at doing something, right? They could call themselves some type of professional at doing something. That told this, that told this woman lies, right? That told this woman lies, right? That told this woman lies when it came to this man, right? Because she felt like this woman felt like this woman that you're masculine was dealing with felt like this energy was very intuitive, right? That she got this information from, right? And so when you're masculine, you know, and so when you're masculine, when so when your masculine was expressing this, I can't do this right now, right? Right? During the time that she wanted him to lick that click of hers, right? She started talking shit to him, right? She started talking shit to him, right? She started talking shit to him, cause she started getting nervous, right? She started getting nervous. She started getting nervous. She started getting nervous about, I feel like she started getting nervous, right? About the lies that this energy had told her. I feel like she started getting nervous about the lies that this energy had told her. And so when your masculine told her, I need to figure myself out, that's what made her want to like give him some head, right? Because she was in her ego. Because she was in her ego during the time, right? She was in her ego during the time that she had given your masculine some head, right? And so and so and so this hurt ego when it comes to this woman, right? Is the reason why, your masculine is facing some type of jail time, right? Because he still wanted to talk. He still wanted to talk to this. He still wanted to talk to this younger woman, right? Even though he was facing jail time, he still wanted to talk to this. He still wanted to talk to this younger woman, right? So, child services, right? Child services, right? Um, Child services could have wanted to work with you, right? Child services could have wanted to work with you, right? During the time that this child services was trying to work with you during the time that this woman could have been reporting something. During the time that this woman was reporting something, child services could have been trying to work with you and this masculine, about what child services could have been trying to work with you about, trying to resolve this issue, um, about this kid or kids, or some type of abuse, right? That could have been going on with y'all too, right? Child services could have been trying to work with you, right? When it came to this, um, when it came to this situation, right? But but being that you're masculine, right? Because your masculine could have had caught a case, right? Your masculine could have had caught a case, right? When it came to him having this sexual infection, right? And he had given you this sexual disease, right? And y'all had to, y'all may have had to take some type of medication to get rid of this sexual disease, right? So child services could have been, trying to work with you, and you and this masculine when it came to this situation, right? But he was so hooked on to this third party, still wanting to talk, to her, still wanting to talk to this younger woman, right? Cause something she was doing had him so hooked on her. I feel like, yeah, yeah. And so child services could have been, like I said, child services could have been, trying to work with you, right? Yeah, child services could have been trying, still trying to work with you about, the situation that was going on in this house, in this household of y'all's. Child services, could have been still trying to work with you in this masculine when it came to what was going on, in this house, right? Situation that was going on in this house, right? The situation that was going on in this house with this, with this man, right? With you and this man, right? Which is why, which is why it hurts so much, right? Because this other woman, right? This other woman, that your masculine was dealing with was listening to these lies, right? That this energy had told her, and she felt like this was a very intuitive person that she was getting this information from, right? And so, she could have found out the child services was still trying to work with you and this masculine, right? When it came to what was going on in this house, right? Because the reason why this woman was nervous, right? Because the reason why this woman was nervous and started talking shit to this man, right? Because she had, I feel like she had used some type of, I feel like she had used some type of sex magic, right? She had did some type of sex magic, right? and wanted your masculine and to lick that click of hers. And this backfired on her with this masculine telling her, I can't do this right now. That's why she started talking shit, because she had did some type of sex magic, right? To get him, and wanted him to lick that click of hers, and got nervous, right? Because she felt like, she felt like that this sex magic was going to backfire on her, right? She felt like this sex magic was going to backfire on her. That's why she gave him some head, right? That's why she gave him some head, right? Because he had told her, I need to figure myself out. And that got to her ego, right? And that got to her ego after she done gave him some head. And so she the reason why this masculine is facing jail time. Right? Because she put something, right? She put something in his food. She put something in his food to make this masculine still want to talk to her. She put something in his food, which is the reason why this love is crazy, because that's what made this masculine still want to talk to her, right? And so, child services was still trying to work with you, right? Right? Child services was still trying to work with you while he was still wanting to talk to her. While he was still wanting to talk to this younger woman, right? Yeah. Child services was still trying to work with you while he was still, in his energy of wanting to talk to this younger woman, right? And so that's the reason why this masculine, was in this. I don't know where to start, right? Because it's like, how can you still want to talk to this younger woman who done called child services on the both of y'all two, right? And y'all kids being at risk of being taken, right? And why y'all, because she was the reason why y'all kids were at risk of being taken, right? And child services was, still trying to work with you, right? While this masculine was still hooked on to wanting to talk to this younger woman, because she had put something in his food, right? 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 To make this masculine, right? To make this masculine want to give her, to make this masculine want to give her this phone call, right? She had put something in his food to make this masculine want to give her, give her this phone call, right? And so that's how this younger woman, that's how this younger woman had your masculine, so hooked on to her, right? And like I said, could have caught a case, could have caught a case behind this, this younger woman, right? Because I feel like she had given him this sexual infection, right? Right. And he ended up giving you this sexual disease, so both of y'all two had to end up taking some type of medication, right? To get rid of whatever this sexual disease was, right? Right. Because as this concludes, what caused this situation to occur, right? Because she wanted him. She wanted him. She wanted him to be, she wanted him to have this, she wanted him to have this sexual affection and give it to you. I feel like she wanted him to have this sexual affection and give it to you, right? Because she felt like, this divine masculine was supposed to, be with her, So we're going to get into what affected these energies, right? We're going to get into what affected these energies when it comes to this situation, right? Because see, she could have been just a good time. She could have been, just a good time. She could have been someone, he could have been, she could have been, he could have just liked her sex, right? He could have just liked her sex, so she was just a good time, not a long time, right? She could have been just something, a good time and not a long time, right? We can get ready to get into, let's get ready to pull 4 energy cards to get what affected these energies when it comes to this situation, right? Holy Spirit, I need an energy card, please. What about this man in this house, right? Spirit, I need an energy card, please. So, so when it comes to this house, right? So when it comes to this house that you could have lived in with this man, right? This could have been giving you anxiety and a worry, right? Once child services got involved, right? Child services got involved, right? And was trying to work with you, in regards to this situation, right? This could have caused you, this could have caused you to have anxiety and worry, right? When it came to, what you had going on in this house with this man, right? Bottom of the deck here, we got faded meeting, right? Bottom of the deck here, we got faded meeting, right? Important and faded meeting and important connection, right? So like I said, this could have been giving you anxiety and worry when it came to what you had going on in this house with this man, right? Because this woman had told lies on this man, right? And made this younger woman that he was dealing with getting her feelings, right? Which is why, it hurts so much, right? When it comes to how she was feeling, when it came to how she was feeling about, this masculine, right? Because she felt like this woman that told her nothing but lies was very intuitive, right? And And so, you know, this sex magic that she could have did, right, on her click, right, wanted this masculine to lick that click of hers, right. Once he told her, you know, this, I can't do this right now. She she started talking. She started talking shit to this man, right? Cause she felt nervous that whatever type of sex magic she used on that click of hers was gonna backfire, right? Was gonna backfire, right? Was gonna backfire on this woman, right? Cause she wanted him, right? She wanted him. She wanted him to be, you know. She wanted him to be, you know, in his feelings, right? She wanted him to be in his feelings when it came to this woman, right? She wanted him. She wanted him. She wanted him to be in his feelings when it came to this woman, right? So once he told her, I need to figure myself out, right? That's when she gave him some head, right? That's when she gave him some head, thinking that, you know, this would get him this would get him in the energy of wanting to, you know, lick that click of hers, right? You know. And so since he didn't, right, this got to her ego. And since he didn't, this got to her ego, right? This got to her ego, which is the reason why this masculine, you know, is facing jail time, right? Facing jail time because of this woman, right? This woman and her ego, right? Right? That's the reason why, you know, that's the reason why she put something in his food. That's the reason why she put something in his food, right? That's the reason why she put something in his food, right? Because she wanted to be getting in the way of, you know, this relationship that you and him had, right? So whatever she put in this food, right? Whatever she put in this food, right? Whatever she put in this food was to like, whatever she put in this food, right? Was something unexpected, right? Whatever she put in this food was something unexpected, right? Was something unexpected, right? Whatever she put in this food was something unexpected that you would be facing this jail time, right? Whatever she put in this food was something unexpected that um whatever she put in this food was something unexpected for her, right? Was something unexpected for her, right? Cause see, this whatever she put in this food was something unexpected, right? Cause she didn't know that, you know, she would end up facing jail time, right? She didn't know that she would end up facing spiritual jail time. I feel like she didn't know that this would cause her, like, to be facing spiritual jail time. This is what backfired on her. It's like all of a sudden, right? All of a sudden, right? She started facing spiritual jail time for whatever she put in this food, right? But that's what made this masculine still want to talk to her, right? That's what made this masculine still want to talk to her, right? And so, and so the reason why child services was trying to work with you when it came to, these kids, and the reason why child services was trying to work with you when it came to these kids, or this child being taken, or some type of abuse, right? It's because once this woman started facing spiritual jail time, right, for whatever she put in this food, she started wearing a mask, right? She started wearing a mask and not showing her true self, right? Not showing her true self when this masculine gave her this phone call. Or she started wearing a mask and gave you this phone call, right? She started wearing a mask and gave you this phone call, pretending like she was from the child services wanting to work with you, right? Yeah, that's what she did. She started wearing a mask, right? And could have given you this phone call pretending to be child services trying to work with you to get this masculine to still want to talk to her. That's what she did, right? Yeah, that's what she did, right? And so this faded meeting, right? This faded meeting right? Was this faded meeting, right? Was supposed to be this faded meeting was supposed to be this important connection, right? Between this younger man. This faded meeting was supposed to be this important connection between this younger man and not this younger man. This faded meeting was supposed to be this important connection with this younger woman, right? With this younger woman and your masculine, right? This important meeting, this faded meeting is supposed to be, this faded meeting is supposed to be this important connection, right? This faded meeting was supposed to be about this faded meeting was supposed to be this important connection when it came to this younger woman, right? Being in connection with your masculine, right? Yeah, this faded meeting was supposed to be an important connection, right? With this younger woman and your masculine, right? This younger woman and your masculine was supposed to be in heaven. That could have been how he got hooked onto this woman, because of this faded meeting that these two could have had, right? For these two to get this important connection together, right? This could have been how he got so hooked onto this woman, because of this faded meeting, right? And that's why, he's in this. I don't know where to start when it came to explaining to you how he got so hooked onto this woman, right? Came to explaining to you how he got so hooked onto this woman, right? So we're gonna get ready to pull some energy blocks to see what blockages were created, right? When it comes to these energies, right? What blockages these energies created for themselves when it comes to this situation. Okay. So when it comes to what blockages these energies created for themselves when it comes to this situation, right? The reason why, this could have been you who started having anxiety, right, and worry, right, when it came to being in this house with this man, right? Because you no longer wanted to marry this master. You no longer wanted to marry this man, right? You no longer wanted to marry this man because of, because of because of all the things that was going on with because of all the things that was going on in this house, right? With you and this man, you no longer wanted to marry this man, right? And you could have told him, and you could have told him that you could have told him, you could have told him to stop talking to this woman, right? You could have told him to stop talking to this woman, stop calling this woman, right? Because I see the phone call energy block here. You could have told him to stop, to stop talking to this woman. You could have told him you wanted him to stop talking to this woman. That's the reason why she got nervous and started talking shit to him, right? Because she had did some type of she did some type of sex magic, right? And wanted him to lick that click of hers. And when he told her, I can't do this right now, right? She got nervous that this sex magic would backfire on her, right? She got nervous that this sex magic would backfire on her. That's why she gave him some head, right? That's why she gave him some head. That's why she gave him some head, feeling like this would get him, back into the energy of wanting to do this, right? This would get him in the energy of wanting to do, wanting to lick that click of her. But once he said, I need to figure myself out, she got her ego, right? She got her ego, right? I mean, like I said, this could be the reason why your masculine was facing jail time because of her, right? Because of her, going around with this hurt ego. Yeah. And like I said, she could have been the reason why he was facing this jail time, right? She could have been the reason why he was facing this jail time, right? Because of her and this her ego of hers, right? So what this unexpected was about when it came to this food, right? What this unexpected was about when it came to this food, right? She didn't know that she didn't know he wasn't gonna eat this food, right? What was unexpected, right? Was she didn't know that this masculine wasn't gonna eat this food. That was unexpected. She didn't know that this masculine wasn't gonna eat this food, right? She didn't know that this masculine wasn't gonna eat this food, right? It's like all of a sudden, right? She wanted to give him this food. And what was unexpected, right, was that he didn't what was unexpected was he didn't you know what was unexpected was he didn't like either go get this food that she what was unexpected was he may have he may didn't go and get this food, right? He didn't go get this food. That was what's unexpected. He didn't go get this food, right? that she wanted to give him, right? That was unexpected. He didn't go get this food that she could have did something to. He didn't go get this food that she had fixed for him. That was what was unexpected. It's like all of a sudden, right? He didn't want to go get this food that she had made for him. And so that's the reason why she was facing jail time, spiritual jail time. That's the reason why she was facing spiritual jail time, right? Because she wanted to still be getting in the way of this relationship. She wanted to still be getting in the way of this relationship that y'all two had, right? And so, because that's how she was getting this masculine to that's how she was getting this masculine to talk to her, to still wanting to talk to her from what she was putting in this food, right? And so and so that's how child services, right? That's how child services got back to wanting to work with you, right? When it came to, this child or these kids being at risk of being taken, or some type of abuse that was going on in this house, right? Because she was the one that was wearing a mask, right? She started wearing a mask, right? She started wearing a mask, right? And pretending like she started wearing a mask, right? Okay, like I said, that's how she was getting this masculine to want to talk to her, right? And so during the time when child services was trying to work with you about what was going on in this household as far as neglect or abuse was concerned, right? This woman that your masculine was dealing with, right, was wearing a mask, right? Because she still wanted to be with you, right? She still wanted to be with you, right? And he giving you collective, giving you this phone call, pretending like she was child services trying to work with you, right? Because she didn't know why this masculine didn't want to go get this food, right? She didn't know why this masculine didn't want to go get this food that she had prepared for him, right? She didn't know why this masculine no longer wanted to eat this food that she was, preparing for him, right? She didn't know why this masculine no longer wanted to eat this food that she could have been, like cooking for him, right? And so that's how she got this faded meeting. That's how she got this faded meeting with your masculine, right? That's how she got this faded meeting with your masculine, because this was supposed to be like an important connection, right? This was supposed to be like an important connection when it came to, this was supposed to be like an important connection when it came to her pretending like she could have been a part of child services, or when it came, this supposed to be like an important connection when it came to her, like pretending like she could have been in with child services. Or pretending like she could have cared, right? Or pretending like she could have cared, right? Or pretending like she could have cared, right? When it came to, child services wanting to work with you, right? That's what this important connection could have, this faded meeting could have been about, her trying to pretend like she cared about, you know, what was going on with child services, with you and child services, right? And so that's how she had this faded meeting with your masculine. That's how she ended up having this faded meeting with your masculine, right? And how he got so hooked on her wanting to still talk, because she was pretending like, you know, she could help. She was pretending like she could help, you know, she could help work with you, and you and this she was pretending like she could work with you and child services when it came to, you know, what was going on in y'all household, right? That's how he got so hooked on to this. That's how he got so hooked on to this younger woman. Her pretending like she could work with you in child services, and you know, to keep these kids from being taken, right? And like I said, he could have, you know, he could have been so hooked on to this woman. Like I said, he could have been so hooked on to this woman. He could have been so hooked on to this woman that, you know, the abuse could have came in, you know, when he gave you this sexual disease, right? The abuse, that's what this abuse could have been about. Him giving you this sexual disease, you know, because y'all two had to end up taking some type of pills for this infection, right? So we can pull some zodiac signs real quick and see. We can pull some zodiac signs to see what zodiac sign this other woman could have been that your masculine was dealing with, right? What zodiac sign your masculine could be your masculine. And what zodiac sign could be you, right? Keep in mind that if you just so happen to not see your zodiac sign on the table, does not mean that, you know, this situation does not pertain to you. It's more than likely that you have this zodiac sign in your birth natal chart and was in this energy during the time that this situation takes place, right? See this other woman that your masculine was dealing with. She didn't know that this Virgo, you know, she didn't know that this Virgo, she didn't know that this Virgo, she didn't know. This other woman that your masculine was dealing with, right? Could have been this Virgo who didn't want or put it this way, this woman who could have been this Virgo, didn't want the woman that your masculine was dealing with to know that she wasn't this very intuitive person, right? That's why she started telling these lies. That's why she started telling these lies, right? To this woman. That's why she started telling these lies to this other woman that your masculine could have been dealing with, right? It could have been this Capricorn, right? Who could have been this Capricorn that started getting angry, right? That started getting angry with this man, right? That started getting angry with this man and talking shit, right? She was nervous. Because she was nervous that with this sex magic that she was using, right, was going to backfire on her, right? you know, she wanted him. She was thinking, she was thinking that, she was thinking that, she was thinking that, she was thinking that, if she tell him, right, if she tell him, you know, she was thinking that if she start talking shit to him, right, this could get, this could get him, you know, this could get him, who could be this Gemini, right? This could get him, right? Who could be this Gemini, you know, to still want to talk to this woman, right? Right? And since he still, and since he, and once he stopped talking to this woman, right? And once she stopped talking to this woman, that's when she did the unexpected, right? By putting something in his food, right? That's what she did. That's when she did the unexpected by putting something in his food, right? And like this what backfired on her, cause like it's like all of a sudden he had stopped going to get this food that she was, you know, he had stopped going to get this food that she was, you know, preparing for him. So it's like he outsmarted her when it came to, you know, when it came to her, you know, and this spell work, right? That's the reason she was facing jail time, spiritual jail time, right? Because her ego, because she would run around with this her ego, right? And wanted to balance something out with him, right? That's the reason why she gave him some head, right? And once he told, you know, and then once he told her I need to figure myself out, right? She got in her feelings, right? She got in her feelings because, you know, she had already done, you know, gave him some head, right? And that sex match had backfired on her and made her get in her feelings when it came to him, right? And so that's why that's what made him, you know, that's how she got him still wanting to talk, because she would start pretending like she, you know, could work with him in child services, getting child services to work with you. She had put on a mask and start pretending like she could get child services to work with you, you know, to work with you in this masculine when it came to, you know, what was going on in this house, right, with this child or these kids or some type of abuse that could have been going on. Gave this masculine a phone call or could have gave you a phone call pretending like she was child services wanting to work with you, right? And so that's what this faded meeting was about when it came to her and this masculine, right? This important connection when it came to wanting to work with you in child services, right? And see, you could have been this Taurus, right? You could have been this Taurus, right? You could have been this Taurus, right? They got to thinking about, you know, you could have been this Taurus. They got to thinking about, you know, what was the reason, right? You could have been this Taurus. They got to thinking about, you could have been this Taurus. They got to thinking about how, you know, how come, you know, you got this phone call and child services wanting to talk, child services wanting to work with you. You could have been this Taurus that was thinking on how come, like, you know, how come I got this phone call now that child services wanting to work with you, right? That's what's making this masculine have that's what's making this masculine have to talk, having to talk, right? And that's what made this masculine had to talk and explain how he got so hooked on to this third party, right? Cause this, I don't know where to, I don't know where to start, right? It's because he had got in his feelings, right? With this woman, saying that, with this woman pretending like, she could, work with you and child services, right? Because he had got his feelings when it came to this woman, younger woman, saying she could work with you, with y'all, she could work with y'all too, and getting y'all, getting getting this situation salvaged with child services. That's how he got in his feelings with her. And so we're gonna close out this reading with a message from Spirit. We're gonna close out this reading with a message from Spirit. I'm gonna close out this reading with a message from Spirit. I just need one energy card. We're gonna close out this message. So either this situation could have happened in February. Either this situation could have happened in February. This situation could have happened in February. Or this situation will happen in February. This situation could have happened in February of last year, or this situation is about to happen in February. February the 16th could be significant. February the 16th could be significant when it comes to this situation. February the 16th could be significant when it comes to this situation. Put it that way. February the 16th could be significant when it comes to this situation. And so that was your reading, my loves. And if this message resonated with you, I was glad to be the vessel used from Spirit to give you the confirmation that was needed to start your healing journey. And until next time, my beautiful kings and queens that we meet on these Wicked Tarot streets, my beautiful souls, stay blessed and take care.